So, hello everyone, my review of My Hero Academia, episode 15, season 4, out of 7 to 8 altogether. And yeah, sort of a new arc, sort of the culture, festival arc, friendship, and so on. Sort of the opening was nice. It was definitely very focused on, of course, a musical girl. Like she's a new main character, yeah. Very little Deku in the opening, much more Endower, much more todoroki, so back I go, and we will see the end. They would then go into this like the children training, testing, and so on, right? So it doesn't feel very Deku focused at all, and I think that the festival is going to be a nice, takeaway from that the horrible ending of Overhaul and so on. Right? No more into like a nicer, more friendly storyline, right? Yeah. So we have that going for it. But then the episode, I think it was pretty slow. I think the episode had way too much recap. Let's be honest, say to me, I think the episode had too much recap. Didn't happen so much. It was like 5 minutes of recap at least. They recapped the good best fight, right? They recapped all the parts there. But it was a lot of recap there, and I think that was pretty noticeable. I was like, okay, let's do a recap here, let's do a recap here. So, I really thought we were going to get into a festival this episode. We kind of just got from the preview. So I feel a little bit torn about that. But otherwise, it's a good episode otherwise. I mean, I love the Nero part. I love when Nero is like, you gotta smile, man, you gotta train and so on. And still, though, like I said last week, 3 weeks ago, it does feel like Nero, to me, would be a more interesting character to follow, right, than Deku. Because he lost his powers now, and it would be interesting to see him overcoming being a hero after losing his powers and so on, right there. So, but whatever. So with that happening, we have, of course, it's a lot of Endower in the opening and the ending. There's the Endower talking to Todoroki and so on, so it's clearly going to be more on the Endower part. And some people have, there's been some controversy on that a few years ago, maybe last year, because people are like, oh, Endower is a horrible dad, how can you read him and so on, yeah. So, but it can be a little more of Endower, right? People hate that, some people hate that, people like it, right? I personally, I've done a lot of videos about that 2 years ago. I don't see people keep defending his mom so much. I mean, Endower, bad father, mom, even worse. I mean, she has hurt her son to get back to her husband, and I mean, at least Endower was like he's hurting his son to make him stronger. So at least you can understand Endower's like his argument, his reasonable. His solution is like, I will hurt him to make him stronger. They didn't hurt him on purpose because he doesn't like his son. He did it, to make him stronger. You can question if it's a good method or not. But at least his like end goal was, like make him stronger. The mom is like, I hurt my son because I hate my husband. Yeah, that didn't help her son at all. So I never understood at all why people are forgiving his horrible mom. They're both bad parents, and she's objectively worse. She just made her son hurt him because she hates someone else, right? Doesn't happen at all, yeah. And you can, she went insane and so, whatever. There is that the ending shows. Before it happened, right? The ending has him like holding his mom's skirt, like afraid the first day of school and so on. Before he has the scar thing, and then we see his siblings and so on. So it's clearly going to be more on that. Back to the Todoroki family, right? As they are, yeah. We have the Todoroki here, of course. Yes, Todoroki. Yeah. So I mean, it's clearly going to be more on that, right? As they have both his siblings, mom and dad in the ending, his dad a lot in the opening, and dad, of course, yeah. So they're clearly gonna be more on the end over to stuff, and I hope we get some more lights on his father's perspective. Not that like I'm defending his father, but for me, and I'll say it again here. So I did a video about this a few years ago. I used compare them, and I'm like, man, they're both bad parents, but at least one had like a goal of making his son stronger, and the other one's goal was like, I was gonna hurt my son to hurt. Because my husband loves only him and hates me or something, so I'm gonna hurt someone else to get revenge on someone else and just make my son weaker, right? And just hurt, yeah, like that is insane. Of course, she is insane, right? But still, though, it's like that is obviously the worst parent, like easily the worst parent, because she's made her son's life worse, yeah. And I don't know, it's been like an ongoing. Toxic fight between years between those two parents, and I'm just like, man, it's just obviously who is the best parent of those two, even if they're both bad parents, like the two bad parents, yeah. But I think in everything, right, when you have something you're looking at, the scale is different, right? Like I had a discussion 2 days ago about there are 2 virtual MMORPGs going right now. We have Ethan Dendrogram and we have Bofuri Shield Girl, and someone's claiming they're both very generic. Yeah, someone's claiming like they're horrible generic, but everyone likes Bofuru and everyone hates Infinite Dendrogram. You people are morals. That was the person's claim, right? And I was like, you don't understand how, there are several issues with that thing, because there's several don't, prove the games. But even if you assume that they both are generic, everything has a scale, right? So if the Dendrogram is incredibly generic, before it's less generic, in my opinion. So you can always have even if 2 things will be, oppositely generic, both of them, it's like, and they are generic to some degree, both of them, obviously. And I don't think the Dendrogram is incredibly generic, but it's like, one thing is very generic, and one thing is like so generic, yeah. And that is different. That is also important, right? And if we talk about Todoroki's parents again, it's the same thing. Like, one is a bad parent, one is also a bad parent, but it can be differently bad parents and bad in different ways, right? So, but for me, it's just like, it's obviously a no-brainer who's the worst parent of that relationship for the kid and so on. Yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe I had this again here. But I'm just knowing that, seeing Endower in this episode, people are again gonna discuss who is the worst parent, is the mom worse, is the dad worse, people should never like the dad, blah blah blah. It's gonna be the shit again, right? I just know that, and I never understood why people are defending the mom over the dad. Like, she's obviously the one that burned him and so on, yeah, for no reason, from his perspective at least, yeah. Innocent little boy there. So I mean, she's cray. She's cray, yeah. But I'm telling you guys, we're gonna go today, go to Discord, Reddit or whatever, Twitter and so on, where people are discussing this episode. I'm telling you, people are gonna be fighting about these 2 parents again, and most people are gonna defend the mother, because she was, her husband is so bad and so on, but it doesn't matter, she's the worst parent. She's the worst parent. She hurt her son purely, she hated his father, right? Yeah. Pure hate for her own son and her husband, where the father had an agenda, it had a goal at least. It's kind of like I'm in this thing now. No, but it's kind of like we look at some characters from history, this, I don't know his name, but no, but it's like, okay, I don't want to go into that thing in this video, but there are a couple of, if you look at different people in history, for example, really evil people in history, at least some of them had an agenda where they were like, I want to do X thing to control the planet, or I want to conquer the world to do this thing, right? And then there are other people in history, they're like, I just want to kill everyone, yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of like that, but it's like, well, one person is like, I just want to murder everyone else. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea at all. Whereas someone's like, I want to murder people to get control over this thing, right? It's kind of like the difference between being someone that's like a lunatic, versus someone that's like, I will kill these people here, take on this market, and so on, right? Yeah, there's a difference between doing that stuff, right? You can kill people with intent, you can just kill them because it's funny, right? I think, and everyone knows you're respecting the person that's killing them with intent. I will take over this thing by doing this thing, instead of just I will just on random, right? Yeah, it's always a very big difference there. And that's kind of again how the parents are, right? She's just doing stuff because she's full of emotions and hate. And he's doing stuff of some kind of weird, and Dow has a kind of weird, super disciplined training, ideal. So you can discuss his method, but at least his method has an end goal, right? But whatever, I'm sure it's going to be more of this thing coming on, so I'll say it again here. Doesn't make any sense to hate him more. You can hate them both, but it's like, at least he had a plan. Or an end goal, right? Her end goal was just to hurt her son and her husband, his father, yeah, so they didn't really produce that even that, right? But anyway, the episode of course covered more on the start of the festival. We're gonna get into that. I can't wait to see Eri being happy, hanging out with Miri and so on at the festival thing, and I think it's gonna be fun. Next episode is gonna be Bakugo and so on. The children is gonna be good. Seeing, yeah, he's clearly the best character for handling that, right? He's clearly the best character for handling that. What more happened in the episode? Of course, we have the big guy. Of course, we have the Tech Titan. We have the shifter guy. We have the big massive guy. He comes off as super dangerous. Gran Torino is bleeding, escaping him and so on. But I feel that guy, to me at least, he's like, oh, we powered him and did this power. He looks pretty weak to me. Okay, I'm gonna say that. He looks pretty weak to me. yes, he's super big. He has he's like, he's evil and so on. But from like a superhero perspective, like Marvel and so on, being big like Ant-Man when he turns big, Giant Man and so on, that's pretty crappy. Like, because obviously in an anime you can have like, I could have 1 billion ki, right, and still be like a tiny little dwarf, right? Or you can have like 10 ki and be a massive guy. In anime it's always much better being tiny, and I can punch you, and then my 1 million ki is like punched in my fist and bam, and you explode the planet, right? Instead of like, I can just do, so that's how anime works. When you have Ryatsu and Ki and Chi and Chakra and so on, right? You can combine them. Not really how Academia works, because you have quirks instead. But it still is kind of how it works if you have a quirk like Deku, which is like, I can punch you and, punch 10 billion times harder, right? So Deku still has to go for him. So size doesn't mean you actually punch hard, right? Because Deku or all whatever can punch harder than you from their quirk. And of course, being big means you're weak to like, flame attacks, ice attacks, so on, massive wind attacks, all of that kind of like AoE abilities. Where you hit a huge area is really bad if you're big, right? So you can use freeze him, burn him, so on, earthquakes, so on, So I don't know. Just like in Marvel, I feel turning into a big guy like Ant-Man in Marvel, then that's never been a good power. That's never been a good power. So in Marvel Avengers, then you have Ant-Man, Giant Man. Hank Pym is the one of the founders. He has the power to turn big, right, and small and so on. When he turns big, that's useful sometimes, but at the same time, someone like Thor or whatever hits harder than him. Even his his average Viking size, he still punch harder than big Ant-Man. So when he turns big, he's just weak against like Spider-Man. He has like Spider-Man has the power of several times his own size and so on. A spider for his size, right? So he's much stronger for his size. So he also punches harder than Hank Pym and so on. If anything, actually, Hank Pym, when he turns tiny, as you can see in the movie and so on, he retains the same strength, because the Pym particles contains your like energy, like your atom molecular energy, regardless of size. If he turns tiny, he's stronger because he has like his fists with his human strength as a ant, right? So turning big just makes him weaker and more vulnerable to attacks and so on. So turning big, to me at least, in this like super settings, right, is horrible, right? Attack on Titan is strong because he's turning big, and the other people can also turn big, basically. So you just fight them, and being big is better, right? In that anime. But if Attack on Titan was in like My Academia universe, Titans would be pretty screwed, because they'd be like, kill humans, right? And then they'd be like, ice power, so they'd use freeze them and so on. It would be horrible. It wouldn't be dangerous at all. People would like ice power explosion, They shoot them down, right? So I don't know. He was portrayed very much like he's super dangerous, but for me, it's like he's like an ugly mountain lady. And the mountain lady, she's hot, she has some power. But if again, like the mountain lady, she teams up with what is power? Moku something, the wood guy. But like I would rather have, of course, like I can control the woods, I can control the plants and so on. I can send my branch powers. That sounds a lot stronger. Obviously, he can defeat mountain lady. He can just attack her with the branches and plants and just entangle her. Sounds way stronger than her power. So I don't know. He's like a better version of mountain lady, of course. She has more powers than mountain lady, so on. But still, it's like, I don't know. He doesn't feel like super imposing there in the end. Because I'm thinking that Todoroki can probably just be like, ice. Oh, you lost. You can probably just freeze him and defeat him in like one attack. Then it's probably gonna be too strong and get and get free, but still though, right? Like I feel like he's like a super, tanky mountain lady, like Armored Titan. But that still seems like, okay, but like people are earthquake. Oh, you're just stuck there, like it feels like super vulnerable for everything. I don't think I've ever seen a superhero or similar power thing where being big is an advantage. Of course, you have stuff like take it to program and they get bigger and bigger. It's like, I'm big like a planet now, but it's like, but I mean the size stays a little different, right? But when it's like I can turn into like a giant, that is never very positive. If everyone else can like nuke you and so on, they have So I don't know. He comes off as like a very strong character from like the portrayal and bleeding and like almost defeating them and so on. But it feels to me that Gran Torino should be able to just easily avoid him. He's fast, right? And then escape without taking damage. So I don't know why he's been. It fit to me like quite the Fourth Croft there. It's like, how is he bleeding? How did he like take damage? How did he avoid this big guy? Like he should be super fast. Whatever. But that's obviously a new bad guy. But to me, I have to say, I feel like he should be easy to defeat for many of the characters. And again, just to make a Deku, right? He's the contained energy key attack guy, right? So why wouldn't Deku be able to just punch hard on him, but also being very tiny and hard to hit? And he's a huge guy, can easily just, kick I guess more than punch these days. But though, still though, like Deku can probably just kick harder than he punches, right? And he's super big and slow, so it's like a bad matchup for Deku. For him against Deku. Of course, Deku has probably too weak at the moment, gonna get stronger, but you know what I mean. Like All Might can probably use like bam, plus Ultra, and bam, smash off that, and then he will lose, right? So of course, gonna be super physically strong. I know. They're gonna beat him up as being incredibly physically strong. He's like strong and big. He's like contained energy and big. I know. It's gonna be that character, but still though. I guess I'm not a big fan of the giant guys. Yeah, I like Mountain Lady because she's super sexy, right? But giant people, yeah, it's like not the quirk. I guess that's the thing. Yeah, that's a quirk I would definitely not want to have. Yeah, I mean, I much rather have like I have my own size and then I have 10 billion human strength. Yeah, if my quirk was like either you can lift, or like you have the strength of like 100 humans in one, but you're still a human, right there in your size. Or do I want to be like, you're a human that can grow big, like Mountain Lady, and then have like 100 times size, because I'm 100 times bigger? I would, of course, much rather have, I'll be tiny, and jump around and punch you with 100 times strength, instead of having just like, 100 times more physical power, but still being the same size. That sounds incredibly a lot better to me, right? Just being big is like, well, I get you bigger now, but... And also it makes you weaker, because unless you're big all the time, like Mountain Lady, when she's a normal human, yeah, which means that she's vulnerable to being, assassinated and shot and so on, when she's normal shape. Where if you have 100 times physical strength and you're a normal size, if someone shoots at you with a normal bullet, it would be like, yeah, because I have 100 times more defense, my skin's 100 times harder, right? Like Luke Cage and so on, yeah. So I would obviously be like bulletproof. Like if you shoot All Might when he's flexing, right, nothing will happen. His muscles are so powerful, yeah. But if the size powers, when you're normal size, you're just a normal human, so you're also much more vulnerable. You have like a vulnerable that you're sleeping and so on, yeah. But if you have 100 times strength again when you're sleeping, you have 100 times more defense points when you're sleeping. So much better, yeah. Incredibly much better. So yeah, I'm just not a big fan of big size powers at all, I guess. But anyway, that's the review, guys. Subscribe to everyone. See you guys today with each piece of reviewers, like the best anime season, of course, coming up later tonight. So and I'll see you with that.